Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another 5 looks 1 palette video, and this is the last look. I didn't put lashes for all the looks, just for this one. This one was a special one. I think this is the most boring, but yeah, my favorite one of all of the looks I did. And as you saw in the title, today we're going to be talking about the Born to Run palette by Urban Decay. This beautiful palette right here. Thank you so much to those of you that commented on my past 5 looks 1 palette video that it was a good idea and that you wanted to see more of it. It's definitely very time consuming. I have filmed all 5 looks for this video, and I did them on different days because if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below, but if you saw it, you knew my eyes were on fire. I was crying, they were red. It was a lot for my eyes to take, all the rubbing on and off of products. So this week, each day, I made it a point to do my makeup to go to work using this palette and creating different looks every day to be able to make this video basically. I don't know if I want to continue to do it like the way I did it today, because I feel like it just takes me a very long time. Like, I don't have a video to upload this week basically because it is 7 o'clock Friday afternoon. I just filmed the last one. It's going to definitely take me a long time to edit that video. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do in the future, but let me know in the comments down below if you guys still think this is a good idea and you want to see me do more 5 looks 1 palette video with other palettes. I have, last video was the Jeffree Star Thirsty palette. We have Born to Run from Urban Decay now, and I was thinking of maybe doing a Huda Beauty palette next because those are very fun and have tons of shades too. So let me know your thoughts on that. Make sure before you leave, guys, give my video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It's a lot of work to make them, so don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, my name is Patty, and I would love it if you subscribe. It means the world to me. Let's not make this intro any longer. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so to get started, I'm getting my Morphe M504, or any big fluffy brush that you have will work. And I'm grabbing the color Weekender from the palette and using it all over my crease as my transition shade. I then, with the same brush, got the color Still Shot, and I'm blending it in windshield wiper motions all over the crease of my eye, blending it into the color Weekender so that it has a nice diffused look. And I went back into the color Still Shot a couple times till I got the desired intensity. I then switched over to my E25 brush from Sigma, and I got the color Good as Gone because I knew I needed to deepen up the crease of my eye a bit more. I knew I was going all over my eyelid with a dark color later, so I wanted it all to have a smooth transition. And now the star of this look is the color Drift, which is a really pretty gunmetal type, like shimmery deep silver. I don't know if that's a way to describe a color, but that's how I see it. And I really liked it because it really made my eyes pop. And so I'm putting it all over my eyelid. As you see here, I'm tapping it in with a number 15 Sephora brush. And then I realized that I wanted to deepen it a little bit more. So I got my Morphe M506 and the color Jet, which is a black color that has a little bit of a satin finish to it. And with the brush, I started doing windshield wiper motions around my eyelid to deepen up the look a little bit more. And then you see me go back with the Sigma E25 brush so that it blends that jet color out into the transition shades a little bit further. Because again, I don't want any harsh lines. So you see me here going back and forth, doing little windshield wiper motions and just making it a little bit more smoked out. Here I am grabbing my Sigma shader brush. This one is the E55 and the color Breakaway, and I'm putting it as a highlight right underneath my brows. Then I got my Sephora Collection number 18 brush, and the color I'm using here for my inner corner highlight is called Stranded. And this is a beautiful like gold shimmery shade that really makes your eye pop in the inner corner. I cleaned up that same number 18 brush by Sephora Collection, and you see me using it here with the color Jet underneath my lash line. So I'm going all the way from the outer corner to right underneath my tear duct with the color Jet and making it really nice and intense so that it looks just as smoky as at the top. And went back with my 506 brush by Morphe and started blending it out. At first, I used the color Good As Gone to blend it out, and then I switched over to Still Shot to make it a little bit lighter, and this kind of mimics the same thing we did at the top, at the bottom of the eye, and you just see me adding more and blending until my hand falls off and it looks nice and even. Then I added a little bit of setting spray to my number 15 brush from Sephora collection and went back with the color Drift and tapped it all over my eyelid, and this just makes it look a little bit more metallic. I applied my Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara, and here's the final look. So yeah, nice and easy. So now let's move on to look number 2. And a lot of these looks, to be honest with you guys, start the same because there is really like not a lot of different transition shades that look this color. So this is still the Weekender with the big fluffy brush, just like in the first look. I don't have really other colors in this palette that are like this, but that's okay because this palette is very, very multifunctional. So you have that really pretty off-white color that works as a transition shade. I then went again ahead and I applied Still Shot one more time. This here I left it in, but it's an unnecessary step because I then went in with Hellride and it kind of covered it. So this is with my Sigma E40 brush. I love this brush. Greatest blending brush ever. And I'm doing windshield wiper motions on the crease of my eye with the color Hellride. I left the whole process here so you guys can see that it sometimes can be tricky to blend out eyeshadows out, but just make sure that you don't leave any like splotchiness throughout the eye, because that goes to show you want it to be nice and smooth. So if it takes a little while for the eyeshadow to blend out, then you keep blending a little bit longer. That really makes the difference between a really like nice smoky look to something that looks kind of sloppy. So blend, windshield wiper motions, little circles until it looks super nice and smooth, the way it's kind of getting there right now. So then I went in with my number 15 brush from Sephora collection and the color Wild Heart. And with that color, I went ahead and tapped all over my eyelid. This is a really nice, like hot pink shimmery color, really, really pretty for all over my eyelid, and of course it complements Hellride a lot. This is, I think, my most colorful look from these little bunch. I went ahead and got the color Guilt Trip afterwards to darken up the outer corner a little bit. This is a really pretty like purpley shimmer shade, and it just worked with this look really, really nicely. So I'm applying the color Guilt Trip the same way I did the color Wild Heart. I'm using my number 15 brush and I'm doing little tapping motions on the places or areas that I want to have that color in, and not putting it in the crease of my eye, just letting it meet the crease. I then went in with my number 18 brush from Sephora collection, and this color I'm putting in the inner corner is called Ignite, and I am putting it right over my tear duct area, blending it into Wild Heart. I wet my number 15 brush and went back with Wild Heart so that it would look a little bit more intense. As you can see here, it's working. And then with a clean blending brush, I went ahead and went over the crease a little bit and did my brow bone highlighter as well, which was once again Breakaway. And then I'm blending some more. I did my face makeup and I came back to the color Ignite and the number 18 brush. So what I decided to do was extend the color Ignite underneath my tear duct area to halfway through my eye, or like a third through my eye. So from the inner corner, 1/3 in, under my tear duct area. And then I grabbed this flat brush. This one is a Morphe brush. And the color I'm using is the color Radio. So I'm putting it right underneath my lash line till it meets the color Ignite. So from the outer corner, 2/3 of the way in to meet the color Ignite. This is a beautiful shimmery blue shade, and it's just adds a pop of color to underneath my eye. I then decided I wanted it to look a little bit brighter, so I went back with my 18 brush from Sephora collection and added a little bit of Big Sky. And to blend all of those colors out, I got my E17 from Morphe and the color Hellride, and I put it right underneath those colors so that it would meet the outer corner the same way we did with the look before. We always want to blend it out underneath the eyes, or at least that's what I like to do, the same way that we blended out the eyelid color. So I kind of mimic the same thing at the bottom. It just works for me. I think it looks very nice. And then to add a little bit extra of a pop of color, I added a blue liner to the waterline of my eye. This one is from Makeup Forever. It's the Artist Color Pencil in the number 200 Endless Blue. So you see me here just putting it in the waterline of my eye, and that makes your eye pop even more. So with that step and some Marc Jacobs mascara, this look is completed, and here I'm showing you guys it. I forgot to take pictures of it, which kind of sucks, but I was not going to do it again. So yeah, here's me showing you the look. Hope you can see it from there because I have no pictures of it. And we're starting look number 3 with the same color weekender and the same big fluffy brush. So again, putting this one as a transition color all over the crease of my eye. And I started putting the color Riff on the outer corner of my eyelid with the same brush and blending it into the crease a little bit. So you see me here just adding a little bit more and more to deepen it up a little bit at a time so that it looks nice and blended, because I'm just using that big fluffy brush for it. I then went in with the color Punk, which is a really pretty like warm tone chocolatey brown, and I'm putting it all over the last half of my eyelid with the same big fluffy brush. I went back and I grabbed a smaller fluffy brush. This one I believe is from Morphe, and I'm going around the crease of my eye, blending out the edges so that it looks nice and smooth and it's a nice transition. Here I'm going back to weekender and putting it over top, because that way you can bring the color down a little bit if it's not blending. So that's just a little trick. And I'm cleaning underneath my eye to start with the eyelid. So I am once again grabbing my number 15 brush. This is my favorite shader brush if you can't tell. And the color I grabbed was the color Ignite, which is this beautiful coppery shade. And I'm putting it 2/3 of my eyelid in, blending it into that dark brown that we already have in the outer corner of the eye. So to blend it, I barely have any color in the brush left, so I'm just tapping over a little bit and just putting the most pigments at the front. I also went ahead and grabbed the color Accelerate, which is a more reddish tone, so that it looks a little bit darker, so that way it would transition well into the outer corner. I went back with my blending brush, the M506 by Morphe, and the color Punk to make sure everything was blending. Then I grabbed my shader brush from Sigma, that is my E55 from Sigma, and I put the same color Breakaway underneath my brow bone. Anytime you see a color in my brow bone from this palette, is that color. And then for highlight, I changed it up a little bit, and my highlight that I'm using is Blaze, which is a nice shimmery highlight that has a little bit of a pink shift to it, which I really liked and kind of surprised me, because in the palette it looks kind of boring, but it has a little bit of a pink shift to it. I'm grabbing a very flat brush. This one is from Morphe, and the color Punk once again, and I am putting the color Punk under my eye, very close to my lashes. So I'm making it meet the outer corner, dragging it all the way to almost the tear duct area underneath my eye, as you can see me doing here, making very weird faces in the process. And then with my blending brush, the M506 and the color Riff, I am bringing the tone of that color down a little bit, making it blend underneath my eyes, because again we want to mimic the same transition shades that we did at the top of the eyelid underneath, so that it looks nice and smoky and sultry. And then grabbing the color Weekender at last so that it blends just into my skin. And then to clean up a little bit, because I thought it needed it, you see me applying some translucent powder here. And that is the final look. So here is me giving you some faces so you can see it. It's just a really nice coppery brown smoky eye. Just like that, we're already at look number 4, which starts the same way as the first 3. Once again with the color Weekender all over the crease of the eye. But then we are going in with the color Baja, which is the super bright, like burnt orangey shade, and we're putting this color on a very nice fluffy brush, and we're putting it across the eyelid. This looks a little bit messy because it was. So I had just put eye cream on, and my eyelids were kind of a little bit too wet to be putting this much eyeshadow on. I didn't let it sink in. So it was runny, and it was making me do a lot of mistakes. By the time I got to the second eye, it was dry, and it went on so much easier and so much better. I'm applying my under eye highlight here with the color Breakaway and my E55 brush. And then I grabbed a Morphe brush, a blending brush from Morphe, and the color Good as Gone, which is a cool tone brown, and I'm putting this color on the outer corner of my eye and just going back and forth on the outer corner and ever so slightly blending it on the crease into the color Baja that we had already put there. So you see me here just working that color into the crease of the eye and the outer corner a little bit at a time so that it looked nice and it made it transition well. I then went in with the color Big Sky and my number 15 brush from Sephora collection, and I'm putting the color Big Sky all over my eyelid. This is a beautiful blue shade that is metallic and really pretty. So as you can see here, I'm just tapping all over the eyelid and making it a little bit defined on the crease there. I went back with the blending brush. I had no added product to it, just dabbed it over so that it would transition well with the color Big Sky on the outer third of the eye there. So then I'm just tapping the color Big Sky a little bit more and just making sure I blend. So, you know, I leave the going back and forth parts so that you guys can see that it's okay, that it doesn't have to be perfect all at once. This is me using the color Baja again with a small blending brush underneath my eye, again as to mimic what we did at the top. And then to intensify the color underneath, I'm putting the color Wanderlust, which is like almost like an olive green that has a shimmer to it. I'm putting it right underneath my lashes, and then you'll see me go back with a blending brush to make sure that it's looking nice and blended, because these are two different shades. We're mixing orange and green here, so you gotta make sure that you're blending the colors out so that there's no harsh lines. So that's what I'm doing right here, just blending my life away as always, making very weird faces. Okay, so same brush, I cleaned it a little bit, I'm assuming, and I went back with the color Good as Gone and intensified the outer corner, and then I'm using Blaze in my number 18 brush as a inner corner color again because I liked it the last look. So it looks really pretty, it makes my eyes pop, and again I really like that pinky shift that it has. So I'm just putting it in the inner corner of the eye, and then I used a nude shade for the waterline to open up my eyes, and that's it. This is the finished look. Look at that. I really enjoyed this look. This one was also nice and fun and colorful, and I like the contrast between the blues and the orangey shade. So let's move on to the last look. Starting it the same way, of course. This is the big fluffy M504 and the color Weekender one last time. For this one, we're going to do a very nice like halo eye. So I got the color Punk, and with my number 15 brush, I packed that dark chocolatey color on the inner part of my eyelid and the outer part of my eyelid, and just dab it until it gets as opaque as you can possibly make it. And then we're not going to stop there. We are going to drag it and make them meet in the middle at the top, like around the crease. So as you can see here, I'm dragging that brown color and kind of making it meet on the crease of the eye to create that halo effect. And so now I'm grabbing my number E25 brush from Sigma, and I'm just going around that brown shade and smoking it out to the best of my ability. So I'm just blending so that it softens up all the edges. Now I'm just starting to dab on the inner and outer corner to make it nice and diffuse there as well. And you can see how nice and smoky this is looking already, and we haven't even added any more shades. So I went back with the number 15 and the color Punk and darkened it up a little bit because I don't want to lose the darkness either. We want it to be both nice and smoky, blended, and at the same time still look intense. So we're switching colors now, and I'm going to get the color Breakaway for the brow bone, of course, just dabbing it underneath that brow. And then with my big fluffy brush, I'm just making sure that the colors meet on the, like, right underneath the brow bone area, so that there's no harsh lines. And now with my same shader brush from Sigma, the E55, I'm grabbing the color Blaze and I'm tapping it all over the center of that halo so that it makes it look brighter. Blaze, I think, is one of the few shades in this palette that don't look metallic right away. It did take to wet this one for it to look nice and intense. Here I'm applying it wet. As you can see, it makes a huge difference. For some of the other shades, you could barely tell the difference when I wet it, but for this one, it really made it pop more. So just dab it, and this will create some harsh lines that you're going to have to diffuse afterwards. So you see me here diffusing those harsh lines with my blending brush once again, because we want it to look nice and smooth. And sometimes when you want something to look nice and shiny, it takes away some of the work that you already did. So you got to go back and you got to do it again, because you want it to look good, and that's makeup. And for the inner corner, I changed it up a little bit. I used the color Breakaway with my number 18 brush, and I popped it on the inner corner, and it looked nice and bright. This is my favorite look, guys, from all of the ones I did, and it's one of the simplest ones. At the bottom, I use more of the color Punk. I think Punk is one of my favorite colors in this palette. It's just such a nice, rich, chocolatey brown. I love it. So this is a very small flat brush from Sigma, and I'm putting that color all underneath my eye, really close to my lashes. I'm going to go ahead and switch brushes now. And with my E55 brush from Sigma, I got the color Weekender, and I started blending underneath my eye. And you see me go back and forth a lot because I didn't use a bunch of colors to smoke it out. I just wanted that color Punk to transition into Weekender because I didn't want to add extra shades in the middle. So you just have to blend a little bit harder when you're not putting extra shades in the middle. So yeah, well, that's a sexy face right there. All right, some mascara and some huge lashes. These are Lily lashes in the style Miami, my bougie lashes. I had a lot of fun making faces for this one because the lashes really took it to the next level, you know. So this is the longest amount of faces. I did take pictures of this one, so you'll see some of those pictures on my Instagram at Patty C. Alonso, the way it's spelled right here. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you liked it or not, if you have any ideas or any palettes that you want me to use next. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love it if you join my little family. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you come back for the next one. Bye!